All right, somebody asked me to do a video for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I was like, all right, I guess. I was like, I'll do it. I got y'all. Only because I did a video of them over the summer, and it was like, yo, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be good as hell. I think they actually won this trade with Karl Anthony Towns. And then Julius Randle showed up with F this, I don't want to be here, written across his forehead. And Dante DiVincenzo had a hat that said, I'm shocked. And he didn't know what the hell to do with himself. It's all to say then Mike Conley gets hurt, and then next thing you know, everything just looked terrible. All right, now it wasn't all bad early on. They was figuring it out, making their way, but then they had some more injuries, and then it just went down the toilet. And Rob Dillingham had his moments, and it was like, okay, this young man gonna be nice. He gonna be nice, y'all. He gonna be nice. And that's for real. That's for real. I think he is. But I said it from the beginning that it was Dante DiVincenzo's world. That's what he was brought there for, so that they wouldn't have to depend upon the Rob Dillingham, because he's not ready for where this team is headed. Rob Dillingham is not going to bring them to the promised land. That's not who you want as your lead guard when you're going up against the Stephen Currys and you're going up against the SGAs and you're going up against not Kyrie anymore, but you get the drift, right? You were going to need a guy who's been there, who understands what to do. And Mike Conley is a little bit old. And so Dante DiVincenzo was that guy. But even beyond that, they needed somebody who could be a secondary shot creator and playmaker for this team that could legitimately take pressure off of Anthony Edwards. Now, I know a lot of you were saying, hey, that's Karl Anthony Towns already. You know, we already had that. That's what it was. And I was like, yeah, but did y'all notice there were times he was unplayable in the playoffs? You know that there are times that his defense and decision making is so bad that it's better to not have him on the court than it is to risk that his presence on the court creates such a liability that you cannot win when you need it the most. That's how bad he was. That was how bad he was. So when I said that the Minnesota Timberwolves won this trade, I was saying it because I recognized that there was something taking place in the interchange between this team's roster and where they were trying to get to, and the arrival of two valuable playoff tested, high level playoff performers. I mean, Julius Randle was solid. He wasn't exactly spectacular in the playoffs, but Dante DiVincenzo was. But to get those two for the price of one, not to mention the financial flexibility that provides, that you are now not under one of the largest salaries in the NBA, getting above $60 million for someone who is unplayable. You have to understand the Minnesota Timberwolves were trying to take steps. They were trying to do the things that we wished many other organizations had done before it lasted too long. Just like Bradley Beal in Washington, right? Or Zach LaVine in Chicago. Guys who are getting paid too much money that doesn't allow the team to build a winner, and they're not good enough to even get you into the playoffs. They're either not healthy enough, they don't have the leadership, they don't play the defense, they're not him, and you're locked in. Well, now you have Anthony Edwards stepping into his supermax. You have your all-NBA performer. You have the guy, the real one, who can put on a cape and take you to the playoffs, who can put on the cape and take you to an NBA championship. That's who they got. And now they need the right pieces around him. Look, losing Kyle Anderson hurt. I'll be honest. It hurt. Kyle Anderson was a major piece for this team. And losing him upended a lot of what this team was going to be able to do, especially in the bench unit. But lo and behold, the Minnesota Timberwolves figured out a way to get deeper, to get more flexibility, and to be able to create an opportunity for this team to build around Anthony Edwards for the future. But as I said before, it kind of fell apart. And then over the last 10 games, they seem to have figured it out. They seem to realize what they need to do to be able to get back on the winning track. Now, first of all, let me just say this probably, yes, it's about Julius Randle figuring himself out, Dante DiVincenzo figuring himself out, getting acclimated to the team, but it's also been about health. And one thing I always say is health is king. The greatest ability is availability. If your team's not healthy, you're not winning. It's that simple. It's not complicated. If you guys have major injuries to your top 1, 2, or 3 players, you're probably losing. Period. And so, as you begin to look forward, you begin to realize that, oh, shoot, Julius Randle just got back from injury. Dante DiVincenzo. Okay, Rudy Gobert. Okay, he was gone for a little bit too. Okay, now we got everybody back, and all of a sudden they smacking ass. They are putting foot to ass. I mean, did you see what they just did to Denver? Controlled that entire game. The entire game. This is one of those teams, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think it matters their seeding in the playoffs. I truly don't. I truly don't. I think this is a team that no matter where they are in the playoffs, they are going to have the advantage of having probably the best player in that matchup. Anthony Edwards is a beast. He's a dog. And even if they don't have the best player, they have someone who is just as good. And now you see that with Julius Randle getting back on track, you see now with this team getting healthy, they don't even have to rely on him all that much. In fact, their defense is going to win them games even if he doesn't have it going, which is the sign, it's the mark of a team that's really ready to win. So what we're seeing right here with the Minnesota Timberwolves is kind of an amalgamation of all these different things coming together. They're getting healthy. They're getting acclimated to the system and their team and settled into the new city. They are figuring out their roles and stepping up into it. But more than anything, they are healthy. They are healthy. They are finally all together on the court. And that is why they're winning. Look, Minnesota Timberwolves fans, I love y'all. Hope you appreciate the video. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.